This podcast is sponsored by Darling Eyewear. Activate your alter ego with Darling Eyewear and start seeing life through a different set of lenses. Shop darlingeyewear.com. Tell them Demetrius Lee and Angela Lee in the Lee Life Experience Podcast sent you. Thank you.
Hi, welcome back to another episode of the Lee Life Experience Podcast. You have Angie and Demetrius here, and we are giving you the Lee Life Experience Podcast. We want to tell you thank you so very much for tuning in with us and being able to rock with us. Again, if you want to get your topics heard, don't hesitate to join in and text us with texting 833-370-1608 and put relationships without an S in the comments so we'll know exactly what you want. So Demetrius, how you doing today?
Don't love you, honey bunch. How about yourself?
I'm doing amazing.
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah. So listen, we are going to touch down in South Carolina. This is Beaufort, South Carolina. We got a letter that came in, and it's kind of touching, Demetrius. So, with everything that goes on with life, this person's name is Sabrina. Sabrina is 45 years old. Sabrina says that her husband of less than 3 years have passed away. She regretted because they had a terrible argument and they went to bed mad. So a couple of days they wasn't even speaking. Made very small talk. In some kind of way, he was on his way to work and had a bad car accident. She received the call and she rushed with emotions. She said she's writing in to be able to tell our audience about stop going to bed, holding grudges. Take every day by life is an opportunity to try to get it right. Never go to, and this is what her rules. She put about 3 to 4 in her list, and she said number 1, always find something in common ground to be happy about with your mate. She said number 2, always being able to show some type of appreciation. It's something that your mate did, being able to show appreciation. Number 3, she said, never seize the opportunity to say, I love you, no matter whether it's hanging the phone up or whether it's leaving, departing from each other, but never forget to say, I love you. And then number 4, she said, it's okay to say, I'm sorry and I was wrong, that I will reevaluate. Those were the 4 things that she said that for is a component in her marriage that she wished she had applied. And she said she only made it to 3 years, but if it give somebody else the opportunity to be able to take what she's now grieving about, help give them a little longevity, that's what she would like to do. So Demetrius, we want to give a shout out to Sabrina. Sabrina, we're praying with you because we know I done lost loved ones, before that's very close to me, but I can't imagine that, Demetrius and I are on this life journey and we wasted, those of you who know our story, we did 10 years gap, without each other, only to come back full circle. And what if, Demetrius, God had took one of us away and we never got the opportunity to, make amends? What if it would always be one of our dreams, or, I mean, not dreams, but sitting there reminiscing, talking to our son, saying, you know what, I really did love your dad, or I forgave your dad, or whatever the case may be. And Demetrius, we never told each other. And so that's what I take away from Sabrina. But she said this was therapy, writing, to the show. It was therapy for her, helping her move forward. So what kind of words of encouragement would you want to give Sabrina and to the other listening audience? Because again, I'm guilty, and I know you're guilty of having a heated argument, going to bed mad, not speaking for an hour, 2 hours, going into the next day when God have graciously graced us to have another day. And I know you listen to Steve Harvey every morning, but being able to really apply this to your life. So, what you want to say to Sabrina?
First thing I want to say, Sabrina, I'm sorry for your loss.
Yeah.
And, you know, fortunately, I know it's going to happen. I got people close to me, but I haven't really lost somebody real close to me since I was a younger man. We didn't have no problem. Like one of my a friend girl and a friend man. But what she said was right. You argue. Me and my wife had an argument, and I try to not go to bed like that, cause you never know you gonna wake up. And I try to like talk to her, cause everybody gonna get mad at everybody. That's common sense.
Mhm.
But you got to try to fix it. You can't hold no grudge. Life too short.
Yeah.
Cause you don't know what gonna happen. Like that man just had a car wreck. Anything can happen.
Yeah.
So I feel the girl pain, but I can't feel her pain because she lost somebody her husband. I can't imagine that losing you, honey bun. So just first, I would just say anybody listening to this podcast right now, if you got a problem with your kids, your wife, your husband, your mom and daddy, you need to fix that.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people, people die, and I see people going to the graveyard to see their loved one. And I was always told when people go to the graveyard like they see their loved one, they got guilt conscious because some they didn't fix before they died. That's why they go out. I don't know that's true or not, cause I ain't got nobody I'm going to the graveyard to see. But if y'all know what I'm talking about, come in. I like to see y'all come in on it and let me know, let the audience know what's going on. I mean, cause a lot of people going through this here. So I'd like to see if you got a problem with your wife. I'm gonna use your wife right now. Don't go to bed mad. I know let it cool off and fix it before you go to bed. Try to fix it. Try to make amends with her. Cause you never know, man, what gonna happen. And you got kids like that. I got a son of mine. Me and him get the beefing, arguing, and he gets mad at me. He hold a grudge on me. He gets mad at me. But I try to fix it with him. 'Cause I don't want him something having to treat me and him. We didn't fix it. So I try to talk to him, even though he be mad at me. Cause he on a child, he kind of spoiled. So I try to talk to him and let him know I love him. And cause he be looking at me all rolling his eyes at me, but I don't care. I try, cause I got to make me with my son. And I'm gonna leave it right there for now. Let Angie talk because she might have some stories too. Cause I don't want to take over this conversation, but I'm gonna let Honey Bunch go.
Yeah. Well, shouts out, and I ain't gonna say shouts out to you, Sabrina, but I commend you, for taking the opportunity because you could have shared your story with anybody else, but you decided to share with the Lead Life Experience podcast, and
Yeah,
we
appreciate
we
that.
appreciate that, shedding lights to our listening audience, and thank you so very much for listening in. I want to say just because I am a nurse and I work in the emergency room and I see how quick life can end in a blink of an eye. And it has caused me two things. It has caused me to sometimes be very superficial because as a nurse, and this any nurse, no matter what your specialty is, when death happens, it unfortunately we do what we have to do. We treat the goal is to treat the body, with dignity and respect through the whole process. But once they pass away, that toe tag is on that toe, placed on there for identification purposes, and then they go on and get security to follow you or escort you on to the morgue, and that loved one is there, and we go on as nurses. That room is flipped over, cleaned and everything, and we get the next patient, next living patient. And I don't want some of you all to think like, hey, some of y'all nurses, are not a little sympathetic. Sometimes you do may I'm not speaking for everybody, but those of us, it does wear and tear and tug at our heart One of my worst things is ever walking into the emergency room and it be one of my personal loved ones in that trauma room. That's one been always one of my biggest regrets on a travel assignment. You know, when I was in Colombia, I was worried about my niece when she was down in college at USC. I was worried about coming in the emergency room and seeing her. You know, when I got to Georgia, I was worried about, my son, my future daughter-in-law, worried about them, my husband, because anything can happen in the blink of an eye. And you all, we take life so for granted. We do. I'm saying we always put it off to tomorrow. And a shout out to a lady named Miss Jurdy. She was 94 years young. She drove herself to the emergency room, still in her good mind, beautiful black lady. Um, and she, you know, got attached to me because number one, she didn't hardly see too many black people in that part of California, and she was happy. And we kept having schedule conflict that she was calling, calling, calling. And I was like, I can't talk right now, Miss Jerry, can't talk right now. And then I noticed that the calls had stopped. And when I noticed the calls had stopped, and something told me, I still waited probably a couple more days. And by the time all the dust had settled, and so God told me to Google her name. And you all, I have missed calls all the way up until that Monday. She passed away like on a Wednesday or Thursday. I'm devastated.
Well, she was calling you.
She was calling me.
How you missed her?
I missed her cause I was, had done put the phone on, when I was sleeping, I had put it on do not disturb. I missed the calls. Missed the call. And
Okay.
I working third shift. I was like, and when she was calling me, it was kind of like in the wrong time. I was at work or what. Somebody who's not working, they kind of forget that
Yeah,
the people that are working. And then, as we working, I'm thinking like I call her back when I get off work when I got more time. And you all, she wanted to take me and my husband out to eat, spend time with us. And then guess what? It was around this time last year, Demetrius, because we was in New Orleans, remember? And I sent her the videos and
yeah.
she said, y'all having a blast.
That's right. I remember that.
Yeah. She was calling me when we was in New Orleans. And I'm telling you all, when you talk about a life of regret, I hate I kept pushing it off or saying I wait till I get off. I didn't want to interrupt my sleep. I want to wait till I had a day off. I wanted to wait till, I kept making excuses on the days that when she was calling, it was wrong time. But I should have at least made time, inconvenienced myself, losing a little sleep, going to bed late. That wasn't going to hurt me. If I got off at 7, 8 o'clock, I could have went by and had coffee with her, had breakfast with her. I could have just went to bed later. That wasn't gonna hurt me. But when your life's so caught up in the hustle and the bustle, we all do it. And I'm gonna speak this because Sabrina talking about her husband. I want to come back and talk to you all about your parents, your aging parents, how you were sending us to voicemail, and especially talking to my son. You don't answer. Listen, at least give a courtesy text. Let us know you okay. Don't just ignore the call. I used to fuss at my husband. I said, listen, why do you always answer the phone? It's okay for you not to answer. He was like, oh, well, I don't do that. I at least let them know I acknowledge their call. Then I was like, well, Demetria, you don't have to do that. You stopping in the mid sentence. But that just let me know that he appreciate because they don't have to call him. I remember Elder Sent used to tell us all the time at the retreat, don't nobody have to do anything for you. And when
Yeah.
they do, you show appreciation. If somebody tell you thank you, if somebody give you a compliment, if somebody like your Facebook page, if somebody made a comment, if somebody gave you a gift, it might be all they had. It might not be something that you want, but you act like, and this is my mother-in-law Cookie, she always would say, you act like that's the best thing you ever had. You never treat somebody like a anything or like a nothing because you being inconsiderate and that's not something you would get yourself. The point is they thought enough to spend their money on you. They thought enough to come by and see you. You mad, you upset. Oh, you don't want them to come over because the house not clean. Keep the house clean then. Oh, you don't want them to get in your car. You don't want them to get in your car because it's too clean. It's new. And then you got somebody else who got a Pinto. I told you all about the time I went to Africa and that lady used her car. Even her air conditioner was out. Everybody else was complaining. But you know what Angie did? Even with sweat beating down on me, Demetrius, I didn't complain. Told God, it reminds me. See, when you are a Bible reader, certain stories are gonna stick out. And I remember the lady with the little cruiser oil, and that's all she had. When her husband had passed away, just like Sabrina's husband had, left her with all them bills, and the tax collector was coming, and it was nothing but her kids and a cruise oil. And when Elijah had that assignment and told her, take this cruise oil and go to everybody's house in here. And the lady never did run out because she was obedient. So I'm telling you all, when you obedient, and that's what Sabrina says she's telling us. I know we be having heated arguments, Demetrius, but we got to press through and not go to bed. Kiss each other on the forehead and say, you know what? I know you upset with me right now, but I still love you. Give the person a hug. Do you know that when you stimulate a hug or a kiss, that ignites dopamine in your body, and that is considered the happy hormone? That it's a pleasurable hormone. You activate it just from getting a hug from somebody else that you have admired. It doesn't have to be, it can be a woman giving you another hug, just like this lady did today. She gave me a hug, and I said, I appreciate you. She said, oh, Angie, that means so much. And she hugged me, and I nicely, embraced her back. Because remember, don't nobody have to give you anything. Demetrius, you have anything before we go to break?
Yeah, I'll tell a little quick story right quick. I
Okay.
had a friend of mine, I work on the railroad, and it's like, this happened like 25 years ago. He was an older man. I went to school with his son. That's how he just passed away. He just passed away about a couple of days ago, Angie.
Yeah.
But yeah, he retired and he passed away. But make a story short, I was on a train one day with him, and I was sitting still. And it was time for us to move. And so when I took the train, started moving, I'm an engineer. I started operating, moving over crossing. I was blowing the horn. He was trying to call signals on the radio. Like, you tell everybody where we at, like a signal, like a stoplight, but we call them on the radio.
Mhm.
Well, I was blowing the horn, and he say some bad thing. He say, why in the H are you blowing that MF horn? And he hollered at me. And I stopped the train. I said, man, who you hollering at, man? Man, you don't talk to me like I was young boy. I was probably about 28. He's probably about 50, about the age I am now. So you don't talk to me like that. And he like kind of laughed. I said, man, you laugh me out. He thought I was playing. And he realized I got serious.
Yeah.
Cause he made me mad. He said, man, I sit down cause I got hot. So I got back in my seat on with my job. And he said, man, he called me Tick. He said, Tick, man, I'm apologize to you, man. He said, I had some family problem at home with my wife, and I brought her to work with me.
Yeah.
And he said he didn't fix it. And I told him that I said, man, you need to go and fix that with your wife. You can't be going home and bringing that to work. You need to fix that and bring. But like you're saying, when you got a problem like that, you need to talk to somebody
Mhm.
and fix that. He brought this attitude with him to work and brought it to me. And he ain't having a problem with me because me and him made up.
Yeah.
Cause he apologized. He know he was wrong what he did. I was wrong too cause I got aggressive with him.
Yeah.
The he got a son my age. Here I go looking at it like I'm gonna do something to him. But I catch myself because I'm not a violent person. I ain't got a mean streak, but I guess he caught me off guard. So, but the story, the point I'm saying about the story is he came to work like that. He left his wife. I wish he would have fished that before he left there. And back then, cell phone just came out. It wasn't like he could just call her and straighten it out.
Yeah.
But, he told me the next trip that he had talked to his wife at the hotel and they straightened it out. And she told me what he did. And he apologized. I said, man, fine. Only you got that scripture, wife. But the moral to the story, don't try not to leave home with a grudge, hating somebody. If you can fix it, because you might have a car wreck you leave there. You might can leave that house mad at your wife or mad at your husband, turn the corner, have a wreck. So Try to. Like I say, but we'll take a break. We'll come back to 100. But I didn't want to tell a little story because it meant a lot to me. Because, like I said, he just passed away. He was a good fellow.
Okay. This is the Lee Life Experience Podcast. We're back, the Lee Life Experience Podcast. Demetrius and I was, discussing over the break, and he was asking, have it ever been a time, Angie, that you have, held some grudges, against people, and it don't have to be relationships. So you all comment some of your issues that you have been holding a grudge with that you wish you can, kind of like a come and clean, segment. But I want you to use this episode to comment some of your issues that you've been holding on to, and the person passed away or the person is no longer here and you can't get to them. Maybe they might be mentally incapacitated and you're not able to, they might not be able to comprehend. What if it's your family member that just got diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and your mom or your dad or your loved one, they don't even know who you are, but you was holding such a grudge with them, didn't even realize that this illness was coming, and taking over, and
Yeah.
now you don't even have that family member because you've been so distant. You was mad and upset of the way they was behaving. You didn't know it was a health issue. You took it personal. So I want to talk about that because I feel like, again, thank you, Sabrina, because this can go on just not marriages, but relationships with friendships.
Yeah.
I know several friendships that have been, that was good, they was friends. But even younger, I know when everybody in their 20s and 30s, they kind of go their own way. But as you get older, I'm gonna tell you, Demetrius, we was at a wedding this past weekend, weekend before, and one of my former friends that I was real, real close with, uh, we was at the table together, and I cordially went up and greeted her and her husband and talked to him, and so we was taking pictures, and so we was trying to get her husband attention, and so it was just her and I, there. And because we had some, I'm just gonna say some disagreements, and never did talk and communicate about the whole issue. We never really brought it up. We just see each other, be cordial, and at the time we was taking pictures and waiting on everybody, to kind of get their attention to take a group photo. It was just her and I just there, and she hugged me, and she said, "Just take the picture, cause I love you," and she hugged me real tight. And it caught me so off guard, and I'm like, okay, what do I do? Do I embrace her back? Do I forgive her? Because you all, it takes energy. And I don't know if you know that or not, but I want you to Google how long and how many facial expression muscles you use for a frown. And then I want you to Google how many facial expression it is for a smile. And I want you to tell me which one do you feel like it's worth the more energy. Is it better to smile? How many muscles do I use to smile? But how many muscles do you use to frown? I'm curious. I want you all to Google that, because if you think about that, when you having to make yourself dislike somebody, I'm not saying you supposed to like them because they did something to you, they really hurt you really bad, and I'm not telling you forget the issue. But I'm saying not let them occupy a space in your heart and your mind that you cannot go on and function at your day because you still remembering what happened. And Demetrius also know that I seen an ex not too long ago, and we both was at this in the same environment. And I was like, oh my gosh. And cause I still had some hurt, I still had some unanswered questions. And then I was like, you, how dare you walk past and don't speak to me? I had to let it be known, but I had to contain myself because I always wanted, what would I do if I saw him again? What was I gonna do? Was I gonna cuss him out? Because I was hurt. But what was I gonna do? And only until my husband had to come to talk to me, and he said, Angie, I can tell you not over the situation, because if you were, it wouldn't affect you. Demetrius, that was huge. So I'm just saying, for those of you if you are in a relationship and you still holding a grudge on that man that left you or dumped you or cheated on you. And Demetri, you know, some of us women can be vicious, but you have to
Yes.
move forward and you holding a grudge. And some of you all have let a past relationship stop you from moving forward with a new person that's in your life. Because you've been hurt and you've been done so wrong, this other person is showing you that they worthy, but you making them pay for what everybody else have did before them. And that's not fair. Demetrius, can you say something to any of
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. When you saying like people holding grudges like that, the people that you mad at and discuss, a lot of times these people gonna move in their life. They
They
ain't
moved
thinking about you.
no.
You mad at them walking around mad, and life too short. You know, I've been in some bad breakups, some good breakups. I've been in some I don't care. I've been mad at some friends of mine, but I don't hold grudge. I'm not a grudge holder. Now I got some friends of mine. You know, some friends had got mad at me, kind of had a grudge on me for a year. But that was on him. I went on my life. I wasn't mad at him. So what? Hey, he the one mad at me. So I was happy.
Yeah.
I went on enjoying my life. So that's what I realized. I ain't getting mad at nobody like that because they don't care about me like that. You know, some people don't. But in Sabrina case, you know, that's a little different case there. But you were saying back, but you saying I don't want to get back. But you saying too, you can't stop holding grudges on people because they don't care. They don't. They do not care if you mad at them. I don't give a ass somebody mad at me. I really don't. I really don't. Now, I shouldn't say that way. Now I did something bad to somebody. If I really did something bad, offer to them.
You might
They
not know
probably about.
it, though. You might not know it.
Yeah, I might not, yeah, you might not want, but if they told me, cause like when I was younger, I say bad things to people. Like you know, I talk junk, crack jokes.
You was verbally abusive,
I verbal abuse, yeah,
using derogatory terms to him.
yeah, I was.
The crack a
When I
joke.
was young,
But
I was
you
like 21, 22,
but you was
23.
trying
I
to
was,
you was
huh?
trying to be the class clown and make people
Yeah,
laugh in the expense of somebody else's downfalls.
that's right. But I got older because I changed from that. But these people still see me like that. When they see me, they wouldn't tell me that, but they told some people what I say to. I really hurt their feelings. And you know, that's what come clean Sunday about. Stuff like this is what I'm talking about now. And I'm sorry what I did to them. I didn't mean that. But I was a young boy saying bad things to people. Now, these people looking at me like I'm a monster. Like, you know, they don't know I'm a change. I ain't that same person no more. So that's what I was saying, man. You got to fix that stuff. You got to take care of that when you got a chance to, like you talking about mamas. You know, you get mad. Me and my mom got mad plenty of times at each other. But she didn't want to let me stay mad at her. She told me, I'm the mama here. You can get mad all you want. And she told me she loved me. She tell me she loved me. Every time she got the phone, she tell me she loved me. Okay, how mad we get at each other, she gonna tell me she loves me. Last thing she gonna tell me she loved me. And I learned that from her. So I try to do the same thing. I try to tell my wife I love her, my son, my daughters. You know, I love her. I love everybody, really. You know, close to me. I try to tell them I love them, but I don't want to go to bed. I don't want to leave mad at nobody because you don't know what's going to happen, ain't you? You don't know. And I might get to tell you I'm sorry. You go ahead, baby.
And, you know, Demetrius, touching back to what you're saying about people, if you gonna go on the people and you saying like you don't care and you do, sometimes you really do care. You care about walking in a place and don't nobody be excited to have you because you have such a bad undertone.
That's right.
Being able to carry yourself that you know one day you are gonna not want to be the hothead, not gonna want to be the firecracker, not want to be the one that cussing everybody out or saying all kind of derogatory things to. One day you're not gonna want to be in Andrew Reese's voice. You're not gonna want to be the villain, even if she felt like you know people was boosting her up around her by being the villain, and she said, "Oh, I'll take it." But then when it happened, and she started had time to decompress that, she was like, "Oh no, it hurt." She was crying. People didn't feel sorry for her. That guy, that black guy on the commentary, he didn't feel sorry for her. He was like, "Oh well, you know, you decide to take this villain role, so no, I don't see feel. You got to go ahead and roll with it." But you all, everybody has feelings. regardless of if we put it on the forefront or we wear it in the back and we crying and breaking down behind the scene. I'm not saying you don't have to stand up for yourself. I'm not saying you being weak and being, let somebody run over you. Those are not the situations that we're talking about. We're speaking specifically about when you have allowed yourself to be the reason why somebody is feeling bad. You have made up in your mind that you're 100% right, ain't no bending no rule, and you care less about hurting somebody that you love. If it's your woman, if it's your mama, if it's your sister, if it's your kids, some of you daddies, and I'm gonna say it because my father did, I have daddy issues because you left. And when you went and go and did make one of the biggest mistakes in your life, my sister and I paid for it. We paid for it growing up. I can pretty much promise you that if my father had stayed active participant in my life, I bet you my outcome would have been a whole lot different. Entirely, I'm willing to put my life on it. But daddies, if you're not willing to stand up, even if you're not getting along with that mother that you chose her, you chose to have children with that lady. And when you decide to say you're gonna abandon it and cut your relationship off because you can't deal with her, don't do your kids like that. Stand up and get somebody else to go get your children. Build a relationship with, see what they're doing. Let your child know that you care, that you love them. Because I'm going to tell you something. When you are raising a dysfunctional girl or you coming from a dysfunctional family, she carried it. And she put herself at the bottom of the tree. And that means anybody who comes showing her some attention, she missing that daddy love. So she going to accept anything from the lowest bidder. And he's not going to have to do much. And then you're going to be hearing stories of how this man manipulating and treating your daughter. And you know why? Because you did not set the standard for her. You did not go and let her know that you are loved, you are beautiful, and you deserve the top. So when you look at some of your top athletes that does well, and then you compare it to the smart girl at school that she came from a different environment, look at the outcomes of a person with an active father in their life that's done showed them love and attention. And I'm not saying it's always 100%, but I can pretty much promise you that their self-esteem, she won't have to go out there and looking and accepting bids from the lowest bidder if you step up. And daughters, stop allowing yourself to be a punching bag. Stop allowing yourself to keep going through being misidentified because you don't know who you are and because you have this low self-worth value placed on your life because you have convinced yourself this man or this woman is good as it get. It's not. You holding a grudge. And listen, Demetri, don't you know self-forgiveness is a thing? You have to forgive yourself as you grow up and you look at, like, I made a lot of wrong decisions. I made a lot of wrong decisions. I had to forgive myself. That was one of the most hurtful things, that when you make bad choices and you live in the consequences of your choices. And now I had a lady, and I'm going to share the story. I had a lady that she had saved herself for so many years. She finally decided to have sex with some nice looking brother, and she came to the doctor, came to the emergency room, and they had to give her that she was HIV positive.
Lord have mercy.
A very nice, attractive person. So when you saying what diseases look like, you don't know. You do not know. You saying this from somebody that's well put together. It happens. It don't just happen in the hood. It don't just happen in low represented areas. It happen in the suburbs. It's happening behind the gated fences and gated communities. It's everywhere. And can you imagine that this young lady, that she done saved herself, and she finally decided to lower the window and trust her body with this guy, and this is what happened. Now for the rest of her life, they got a thing called prep out there now, and prep is a protective agent for those of you if you still want to indulge in sex with somebody who is IV positive. It kind of protect you. So it's of course you have taken all your measures, and again, we as women know men on the down low, and we trust ourselves with your partner, and you don't know that they live in a whole different lifestyle, but this can be the consequences. And I'm sharing this on this particular podcast because that young lady have a strong, strong grudge. She got a grudge against herself. She beating herself up about it for, saving herself all that time. And then she has a grudge against this guy. And I know some of you are asking, Angie, how can you forgive? How can you forgive when you done gave me a death sentence? Because I'm using the word that she used, a death sentence, but it's not a death sentence. Some I had, this was in Columbia, South Carolina. I had HIV positive lady, and she met a very handsome man, and he knew she was HIV positive, but he didn't care. He wanted to be with her. So don't you feel like all love is lost because some of these things happen? We're talking about grudges, you all. We're talking about being able to forgive because again, if you being a follower of Christ, and unfortunately, Demetrius, she got to forgive.
Yeah.
She got to forgive. And I know it sounds bad, and you saying like, I wouldn't want that for my daughter. I wouldn't want that for my grandkids. I wouldn't want that for my son. But we would have to forgive. We would have to forgive. And I know, like I said, tragedies happen every day. But if we trying to live Christ like on some of the worst case scenario, and I don't want to think about it, and don't nobody want to think about it. But if you got that call in the midnight hour and your mate or your loved one is no longer here, if you got up every day thinking it, and I'm not saying consume your mind with negative or death, but consume your mind that being able to say, you know what, when Demetrius wake up, is Demetrius sleeping? I'm praying for him. I'm praying like, God, thank you for my husband. Watch over him. And Demetrius and I don't say I love you every time we hang the phone up, but when he answer, thank God that he answer, because reality is one day I'm gonna call that number and he's not gonna be gonna answer. And I'm not saying you prepare yourself for that, but again, heart attacks happen. That's the reason why Demetrius and I, we push health and wellness. We pushing it. God give me my ultimate desire to have my health clinic. We pushing health and wellness. So Demetrius, what you have?
I'll add to that. Like, I know people that men and they son, the son gonna die and never had a relationship with their daddy. They fell out and they mad. I mean, they're mad at each other. Can you imagine how the father before, you got a son and you didn't want to claim him. I'm like, you didn't want to claim it, wasn't mine. You mad at the mama. You mad at his mama, so you had a girl with your son. You went in his life. Then now the man gone, or vice versa. Your daddy gone, and you didn't fix it. You could have talked to your daddy, could have made it right. Cause your mama didn't like your daddy, so you gonna follow your mama up.
Yeah.
Don't do that, y'all. Don't follow your mama up. That's your daddy. Your daddy, you don't know what happened with your mama and daddy. You don't know what went on. She can tell you anything. He can tell you anything about your mama, but you need to go see for yourself. Let him tell you. He might say, son, I was a young man. I didn't know what I was doing. I made some mistake. But I want to be a daddy now. I know I can't get them years back I lost with you. But can we start now?
Self forgiveness. Yeah.
Yeah, so again, that's right. So, I know women and dudes, they break up. They say bad things to each other. Hateful things. But then it's something to the person, then you feeling bad. Well, I really didn't mean it. I shouldn't have said it. But it's too late. So that's why you need to how you talk to people after breakups. And then, I mean, a real breakup like y'all doing. What's how you talk to? You'll never know what happened. Don't hold a grudge on you wishing some bad on somebody, it come back on you.
Yeah.
So you better be careful how you talk to people,
Yeah.
how you talk to your kids, your mama, a stranger. Like I see people on the side that I'm in Atlanta. They be down there beg for money, and they be aggravated.
Mm-hmm.
But I catch myself. You know, about the best he probably can do. I drop a dollar too. I mean, I can't. You know, I can't expect them other man. Sometimes I think they try to run game. I don't care. You watch TV, people be doing that stuff. So yeah, you got to distinguish about by what I won't do. Be mean to nobody.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna cuss them out, be hateful to them. I just tell them I ain't got it. Cause a lot of times I don't keep cash in my pocket. I don't be lying to them.
Yeah.
Cause I'm gonna spot the debit card. Y'all know how the debit card is. But these people be needing money and food, and I try to buy them food. I have bought people some food. Some of them say no, they want the money, so nothing I can do about it because I don't keep money in my pocket like that. But make a story short, here, try to be nice to everybody. You ain't got that. Don't be mean to people because you never know what happens. Just don't do it. How about it? Just don't do it? Because like I say, I come around people all my life, all the time that don't like me. I know they don't like me, but I still be nice to them.
Mm-hmm.
I talk to them, be nice to them. Cause I'm not mad at them. I go to bed, sleep good at night. They may be mad at me, but I sleep good at night because I'm not holding a grudge against nobody. That's all I want to say that part too again. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's easy. It's easy to say and a little challenging to do. I'm not gonna say it's hard to do. I'm gonna say challenging to do because you have to really kind of look at yourself and let's talk about, we gonna end it with, I don't know, not quite sure, Demetrius, what our time is, but we want to talk about jobs as well because jobs is another place we hold grudges at. We
Yeah.
there majority of the time and we away from home. And so a job, and a lot of us, we are money driven. That we'll work. I remember, our son working a job and he worked almost 6 and 7 days a week. And I think Demetri, you worked 6 and 7, worked on a job 7, 6 and 7 days.
7 days a week.
If you working 7 days a week on a job, that means you there every day. You only going home for how many hours before you turn around and do it?
16 hours. All you get home.
You getting at home. So we hold grudges, instead of it, we always have been the hamster on the wheel. And I know it's easy when people say, oh, well, you can create your own business. That take working time, you all. You can't, I mean, it have worked. It is a 1%, 1% out there that has came up with a business and it took off right away. But for those of us who still working and hitting the gridiron and pushing a business, it's a little challenging because of the economy where we are right now. It's taking everything in order to keep your household going, and you can find yourself. I mean, you all have seen it. You've seen people take a gun and shoot 'em when they got fired, or they got mad at the boss or the coworker for turning them down on a date or not getting them their promotion, and they took that hard. Look what happened in the prison. Inmate was dating a girl that worked in the kitchen crew and shot her with an outside gun. How in the world did the inmate get a
How
gun?
you get it going? I ain't saw that when they happened.
As- I wouldn't say I sent the story to you, but I'm just highlighting
Hmm.
the way the times is now that, and it was a principal that, was going with one of the teachers. He stole money from the school, $2,500, and went and paid another unknown man to go and shoot the lady, well, unlive the lady, and she was pregnant with his child 7 months. 7 months, you done had the time, and you gonna come up with that kind of scheme? I'm just telling you, it's malice out here wherever we go. So you don't know where your time, your expiration date is. We don't.
Yeah.
I would pray that whatever it is, and I want you all to listen. When you hear somebody pass away, what the first thing you do? You go to their social media page. You want to see what their train of thought was. You want to see what they were thinking, what they was saying,
Yeah.
any kind of videos, anything that kind of give you a clue. I know it because I do it. If I see a story on Fatal Attraction or anything, or crime TV, I'm going straight to social media. See, can I find out more? I want to know what they state of mind was. And you all, we don't care how long it's been. We'll sit there, and I have did it myself. Sat there and went back years and years and years on their Facebook page because their page might be still up. If you notice, would you change the things that you putting out there? Would you change what you posting that could uplift somebody else?
Yeah.
In the word of the Bible, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. So I'm just only saying that because we can pass away at any given in a blink of an eye. A man off a ladder, fell off the ladder, Demetrius, and injured his spine, died on the spot. And his family was in the living room. And all they seen was somebody, they saw him when he fell. And
Saw the blur.
that was it. A car accident. Sending prayers to Sabrina. A car accident. Something that we get in and take for granted every day.
Yeah.
These old senseless weapons that now so many states is open to carry. I was in McDonald's and I seen a person. I was in Walmart parking lot and I told the young lady I was in at this one of the convenience stores and I said, "Well, I'm glad I'm protected." She said, "For sure." The young lady, I ain't know. I sure wasn't trying to get no beef with her. Cause I'm thinking that I'm just walking my little happy-go-lucky life and could have been ended right there in that store. My family was expecting me to come home. I'm driving from California. Anybody on the interstate done pulled over to just rest my eyes just a little bit. That could have been it. Could have went in one of the restrooms or just to freshen up. Somebody could have said, "Hey, not today. We gonna stop." And they would have had to roll the cameras back and say, "She was last here at this store." I could have been a story.
Yeah.
I'm up there trying to date, getting on the chat lines, mean people, don't even know them. Just trusting myself, thinking I got it together, and I didn't tell anybody. You all, I want you all to stop getting so strong-minded that you're not even telling anybody where you are, where you going, because you don't want nobody to talk you out of it. When you want to keep top secret information like that, I'm letting you know right now it's wrong. The reason why you keeping a secret because you know it's wrong.
That's right.
Run it by somebody, at least talk to somebody. And what you said, Demetrius, somebody got to be able to talk some sense to you. Who would you listen to? If our son is not going to listen to us, don't you think we're not playing? God, send us somebody. Send us Elijah for him. Did God send somebody that's going to be able to talk to him and give him value? Listen, don't you know what God said in the Bible? The people going to perish because of what? The lack of knowledge. The lack of knowledge is what they say we're going to perish because don't nobody want to read a book. Don't nobody
Yeah.
want don't nobody want to talk to the old heads, like they consider me and Demetrius, or we old. They don't want to hear nothing we got to say. But don't you think that we don't tell our son and daughters that, hey, we hear about what you're doing. It's another way. Oh, my phone going dead. Oh, if my phone breaking up. One day you're gonna wish you heard that.
Yeah.
And you all, I want you to comment some wisdom that your grandmama, big mama, Uncle Ted, Miss Margin, anybody told you. Comment so the person that read this can get inspired. And they might be ready to make a bad choice right now, and they say, "Hey, I've been holding a grudge, and this person teed me off. I got this object I want to go. I'm gonna go and tell them something." Post in the comment something that your granny or your big mama said to you that changed your mind and talk you out of it. Demetrius, do you have any wisdom? Share some wisdom that somebody told you, whether it's your mama or granny that, had it. Something that somebody told you that hasn't been dead and, I mean, then passed away And now it rings volume to you now. And he's like, Angie, I see what they mean now.
Well, I ain't got nobody that passed away, but my mama just tell me, and she still tell me to the day, whatever you put out there, you gonna
Great.
get it right back.
Great.
So I'm telling you, whatever you put out there to people, you be mean and hateful and nasty to people, it gonna come back to you. It might come in through your kid, to your loved one. So what I say all that, put out good stuff, put out good communication. Talk to somebody. Like I say, I was thinking about when you were talking. I know people that go committed suicide because they're mad at somebody, trying to hurt somebody. So I'm gonna kill myself. Yeah, you did hurt them for a while, but the life gonna go on. So I'm saying the people that you hurting, people that feeling bad for themselves, talk to somebody. Don't hurt yourself. Hell, you can call me. I'll talk to you. God know life is precious. Don't take your life because you mad at somebody. And what you mad about, it probably ain't no big deal anyway. Like, people say, well, I see women break up and men break up. Oh, she cheated on me. No, it's been going on all that. Like, everybody get to happen to everybody. But you don't kill yourself about it. Life go on. You don't get mad and say bad things because you broke up with somebody. You wish death on them. You wish stuff on them. Don't do that. Because what you wish on somebody, it come back to you. So I try to wish good stuff on people. Me and my wife broke up the first time. Yeah, I was mad at her. But I forgave her. I let it go. Life was too short. Me and her came friends. Even though we weren't together and we dated other people, but we stayed friends. Cause I didn't hold no grudge against my wife. And look what happened. God brought us back together. Like she said about the book, reading the Bible, hey, book of Job. It brought us back together. So that's why you never know. I watched football a minute ago about, I'm a Florida State fan. I love Florida State. And they're talking about other players going to Miami and Florida. But they always end up coming back to Florida State. They didn't come to the first time. And the man built a good relationship with them. But I'm getting that. He built a relationship. Even though they went to another team the first time, he built a good relationship with them. So they came back to him. That he could have got mad at him. Okay, you gonna go to Florida, but you ain't going to Florida State. I'm done with you. No, hey man, have a good time in Florida. I hope it work out for you. If you don't come back, you got a home here. And they come back, Angie.
Hmm.
So that's what I'm saying all that. You be nice to people. Cause you never know you're gonna see you might need a favor. I ain't holding no grudge. And like I said, I'm back to Sabrina. I know we're getting off the top of Sabrina. I know you, but we use what you say because a lot of scenarios don't go with that.
Yes.
And you pray about it. Make it right between you and God. I know you might not get the fish with your husband. I'm sorry about that. But you make sure you like Andrew say, you tell people that. Like you telling us, spread the word to other people. Let them know what you went through for they won't make the mistake. Like I say, I'm gonna pray for you and your family. And Andrew, that's all I want to say. I'm gonna leave it, let you close it out. And Sabrina, like I say, thank you for reaching out for that. That's a good topic. It's all it went off topic, but it's a good topic. Because we know we always talk about relationship, but that's a good topic because they have a relationship every day. And y'all, I ask y'all to please follow us on YouTube, subscribe to our channel, the Lead Life Experience Podcast. Because, hey, it's going to get better and better with time. All right, Honey Bunch, it's on you.
Yeah, and I want to also tag into family members, because a lot of us hold grudges and not speaking to family members, because of you feel like it's a uppity side and you the lower class side or however somebody born on the other side. And but at the end of the day, family, we can't choose our family. And I know some friends, you go somewhere out of town and some people treat you better than your own family. I do understand that too. But if you have the opportunity and you can make amends, or if God has uh, allowed you to be the person to go there and be the spearhead, it's okay. Sometimes you got to take the high road. Like former First Lady Michelle Obama say, when they go low, we go high. And when she said that, she talking about it. No matter if people saying all kind of things about you, but you know in your heart of hearts that you're a good person and you have did things behind the scenes that, and I'm saying it because even Demetrius and I already have talked about. We want to help people that least expect it. That when they get the gift or token or whatever, We want them to be so surprised, like, oh my gosh, I didn't know y'all was thinking about me. I want to do more of that. I don't want to do the things that's expected and from me. But I want to be able to go and be a blessing to somebody who least expected coming from me. And I want, if I can't leave you, and I said this all the time, if you meeting Angie, and I can't make you better than how I found you or how we connected, then my job ain't done. If I didn't give you an encouraging word, if I didn't make you inspired, if I didn't help you dream big, if it wasn't motivating, if I didn't make you think that you can get on the top of a building and be able to fly, put a towel on your back and being able to fly, then my job here is not done. God have given us all an assignment. And if you don't know what your assignment is, I highly suggest you to get in your prayer closet in your spare time and being able to ask God, what is my purpose? What am I good at? If you're good at baking, you bake up some cakes and cookies or muffins or whatever, and you take it over there to the local shelter. Or you take it to the lady such as Sabrina who just lost a husband. Because that's a baking spot. If you have extra money and you want to give somebody, go to somebody, go fund me. Somebody just lost their house. Somebody just lost a business. I just seen a young lady on there. She said she just lost her hearing. She said she had to close her business down and go get some hearing transplant. She said the hearing transplant was $1,000 for each ear, and she was only able to get one ear done. So if you want to really bless somebody and you really want to, and you say you don't have any family, I'm tell you, somebody who has the unconditional love is children. When I had my youth group and I went and poured into those girls, the underprivileged area, those were my life. Those girls was my life. And I'm telling you that was rewarding to me because I wanted them to make it so bad. I wanted them to have a better opportunity than Angie had. I wanted to show them. So if you really want to give back to your community, if you really want to take your broken heart or that empty space in there, whether you have lost a loved one, and we're praying in the absence, or if something has happened to you and you're not able to do, take what you do have, because God has given us all talent. And you might not know what yours is, even if you feel like, hey, and my hands, got rheumatoid arthritis and it's on one other. I'm telling you now, the way that if you all hadn't seen the robots now, and if you all hadn't touched into virtual reality, I went to Apple store and Demetrius, I put that headset on. It works by your eye movement. All I had to do was move my eye, and it another screen came. The virtual reality Demetrius, Alicia Keys, when the man showed me, and Alicia Keys was sitting in the same living room that I was in, playing the piano. I'm telling y'all, that virtual reality is like scary. And when he took me on the safari, the animals seemed like they was running to me and I was on a cliff. The man was like, don't be scared. And the only thing that kept me kind of focused is because I still heard people in the store in the background. And I think that's the reason why I didn't yell out loud. But I'm just telling you, that every day we getting closer and closer to something. So you can either spend your closer and closer holding grudges, like Demetrius said, standing, sitting here reminiscing, or you can pay it moving forward and going to learning a new skill or going to help somebody else out who's less fortunate. Being able to take your little bit and going to give it to somebody else so it can multiply. Because Demetrius, his mission is to help the homeless. And like I
That's
told
right.
on a Saturday, he works on Saturday, but we got to do it one day that he's gonna have to, be off when he can be off, and being able to use that time to go down there and give to the homeless. You have to do it. If you really want to, if you really trying to see what the value is of your life, I ask you to pray and ask God, what is my purpose, God? And I'm telling you something, everything don't take money. It do take time though. Go to the church, donate your time. Donate your time. So, and that's gonna be the end of it, because again, I get running on a tangent, especially when it's things that I'm kind of passionate about. And so Demetrius shaking his head again, like, Angie, come on, bring it back in. But you all just kind of write down your list of things that you've been holding grudges on, and as you writing it out, pray over it, that God will heal your broken heart, or God will heal you to be able to, like Demetrius saying, being able to see that person and being able to say forgive, being able to, they might not never say they sorry. They might not never ask you for forgiveness, but you learn how to forgive. And when you see them, maybe you can say, "Hey, Demetrius, I forgave you," and being able to move forward. Because I'm telling you, if not, it's gonna keep on eating you up, and y'all gonna keep visiting that same space. And I'm saying it because Demetrius and I had to do it. We kept reading that same space until I said, Demetrius, you need to tell me you apologize. You need to say you sorry to me. He said, "Oh, I'm sorry." I said, "No, you need to say, Angie, I'm sorry," because it was important for me to know that he was sorry. It was important to me, and now we can move forward. So you all don't never think you too big to say, "I'm sorry, I love you, forgive me." Those words are not bigger than your ego. Just
I
go ahead.
love you too, Honey Bunch.
I love you too. This is the Lee Life Experience Podcast.
Hi, everyone. I hope you have enjoyed this episode so far. You are here with the Lee Life Experiences. And remember, if you want to get your topics discussed or get our opinion or our perspective, join us at text us at 833-370-1608 and put relationships in the comment.